See how the light looks. How's that light look?
I don't know. I see a shadow behind me.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
So there's two people there. Howdy, y'all.
How's it going?
Oof.
Are you tired?
Yeah.
Me too. We're always tired.
Now we're down to one person.
Great.
I'm not sure if we count as one or not. I never know. I never know whether one of those is us.
We did a lot today.
We did.
We got out our little laundry machine. I like to call it the play school laundry machine. It's tiny.
Tiny.
Super tiny. Tiny Elvis. We did what else? We did something.
Taylor Phillips. Hey,
Hi,
Melissa and Taylor.
Melissa and Taylor. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Taylor. That's actually today, right? Yep.
It is.
Heather.
Hi, Heather, and Heather's husband, maybe?
Maybe. Hey, Alan.
Hi, Alan. Hi, Shirley.
Hey, Mom. Got your wrench back.
She's back in business. Business.
Ben is there.
What
hey,
else?
Ben.
Oh, Ben. That's right.
Yo, Brian and Pam. You cool?
Hi, Dawn.
Hey, Dawn.
Yeah, we did a lot today.
We had a productive day. I mean, just like little around the house type stuff, but stuff that needed to be done. We did some laundry.
When I say it doesn't sound like that much, but it took all day.
Well, we took showers.
Oh yeah,
changed
that's
out
like
the water, or refilled the water.
Dishes.
A little bit of laundry, which is real rare.
Emptied all the compost buckets. We call it a bucket dump. I like to. Some people call it. Wow, we've been together too long.
Some people call it a compost dump. I call it a bucket dump.
Sling blade. Any sling blade fans out there?
Some folks call it a Kaiser blade. I call it a sling blade.
Ain't got no gas in it.
I hear you. Just doing dishes and bathing and emptying compost. You got it today for me as well.
Compost.
So yeah, we filled our water again. I think I mentioned last week, because I think it happened right before the live, either the day of or the day before, that the water line had sprung a leak. It wasn't catastrophic, but it did spring a leak. So I fixed that last week. Hello and welcome to another exciting episode. Thanks, Warren. I did a lot of my solar array ground mount. I'll bet you are, Don. I'll bet you're busy with that. So one of the things, before today, I guess I didn't do it at all today, but yesterday, both of us actually, we finished up, or mostly finished up, the plastic covering over the bales. We did the big wall, which is actually
the big one.
A corner and the whole wall and another corner. So that was interesting. But I'll be making a video on that pretty soon. That'll probably be our next video out. Hey, Malin and Dad.
Hi, Malin and Dad.
So we spent a lot of time on that over the past week, just covering kind of all the bales with kind of panels of plastic. I've been making these panels out of pieces of wood and kind of stretching them across the bales and attaching them to the bucks so that they span the bales. So we did the big one yesterday, the big wall.
The metal showed up yesterday.
The metal roofing showed up yesterday morning. And we're going to take a shot at least getting it up on the roof tomorrow. I don't know how much of I'll actually get to install tomorrow, but we're going to try and get it up on the roof tomorrow, because that's the big job, really.
If you like the show,
that's it, Warren.
Thank you.
Hey, wait a second. Hit the thumbs down button twice, because it disappears if you hit it twice. Good one. So yeah, we've been doing a lot of plastic covering stuff. And the metal is here, so we're preparing to put the metal up there.
The pedal to the metal.
I'll be spending, I'm sure, several days just screwing that all in. That'll be a lot. So Don says, I thought of you today when I went to your vid to see those big timberline screws used on your solar array. I bought 2 boxes yesterday at Homeless Depot. Wow, those are expensive. Yeah, they are expensive. You don't want to use those unless you really need them because they are expensive, but they are, I mean, what they replace is, oh gosh, what's the name? Like I can't think of the name of the bolt or screw that they replace. Lag bolt or lag screw, which is every bit as expensive, if not more, than what this thing does. So you get a box of them, right? Usually you'll buy lag screws or bolts kind of individually, and they are also expensive. And that's what people used to use for most of the jobs that we're starting to use these construction screws for. So
sorry, I need to put my
they are expensive, but they are worth it. And what they replace, I think they actually save you money for what they replace. So they're definitely worth it, but you don't want to use them for things that you don't have to use them for because they are expensive. So I couldn't figure out if you need to use washers with them, but don't think so. You shouldn't have to.
It takes a lot longer to do the laundry with that little machine because you have to go dump the water and you have to go hang the clothes on the line.
We each did one load of laundry today. She did some of hers, I did some of mine. But if you do it that way a little bit at a time, it's pretty easy and it goes pretty quick. If you really want to use that thing, you kind of just have to do it a little more frequently, just small loads.
Yeah.
Do it more often. So, but it wasn't bad. We did.
I forgot what it was.
2 loads of laundry today, pretty easy. You did one, I did one. And it was a good day for drying it. It did all right.
Yeah, it dried pretty quick. I forgot where. Oh, it just takes a while because of when you hang things on the line instead of using a dryer. It just
But now
it's time consuming.
I have a lot of clothes that are sort of like spandexy type material, which is one of the reasons I like those things. But
spandex.
They dry really fast. But actually, I gotta say this washer, which has a wash kind of tub and a spin tub.
A separate spin
tub. Spin tub, man, when you're done spinning it, that stuff is almost dry. So yeah, it doesn't take much to dry them. It does work really well. You just can't do a lot at once.
I washed this coat.
Yeah.
And it smells so good now.
Don says I was working
smelling pretty bad.
With a big 2x6 pressure treated 8-foot board on my array today that reminded me of an 80s rock group. 80s rock group. 2x6 pressure treated.
Under pressure.
I'm trying to figure out what that means.
Is he
twisted?
We're not gonna
was it all
twisted?
Did it get twisted? That's one thing I should have warned you, Don, if you haven't picked that up from some of the videos or from your own experience yet. A tip for anybody who builds anything with wood. One of the biggest things I've learned in working with wood is do not buy it before you need it. Because so number one, pick your own wood whenever possible. Go to the store and pick it yourself. Now, if you need to get a ton of wood and you need to get it delivered by the store, then they might pick it and send it to you and you just get what you get. But but number one to getting good boards is pick your own if you can. So go pick it out yourself and literally go through every board and take a look at them and make sure they're not bad. But then once you get them, use them as fast as you can because the longer they sit, the more likely. So yeah, get good boards to start with and use them quick. Don't buy stuff. I've made the mistake early on of buying wood and then just letting it sit around, and boy, that's a bad idea. So
hey, maybe we could use that one that got twisted for the birdhouse to put it up because that one's pretty long and it's treated.
We have some boards that are twisted. I have boards up there that still need to be used for the solar array.
Oh,
and that's anyway. I've had some that made a U-turn after a while. They can get pretty darn bad. I've got a few bad ones here. I need some 10-foot pressure treated 2x6 and went to Homeless Depot yesterday. They had none. Yeah. It's tough to find some stuff sometimes. Especially once you get anything that's not 8 foot. It's kind of a crapshoot at that point, what they're gonna have. And I don't know about you guys, but I hate their websites. Home Depot and Lowe's, I think, are both garbage. Their websites, I I don't believe what they say they have in stock. I have trouble finding things that I know they have. It's really annoying.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I still use them, and sometimes it works, but, ugh, I find myself calling before I go a lot of times. If I have any question, I call, and even that can be tough because it's hard to get somebody who is worth talking to at those places sometimes. But anyway,
You know more than they do.
yeah, if anybody, we're gonna have to use that in a video sometime. If anybody
I
watched,
know more than you.
Parks and Rec, Ron Swanson had a great line. That was a great episode. He walks into I don't know, it was
A
might have been a
store, a
generic
big box store,
woodworking
or
store or whatever, or yeah, lumber store. And a guy goes, "Can I help you with anything today?" And Ron goes, "I know more than you do," and just walked right by him. Sometimes I want to do that in those places nowadays. Um,
Oh,
Brian, I
man,
think
that's
those
a good
protective
one.
cover things over your straw bales are nicely engineered, sharp. If straw bale homes become more common, you should patent that stuff. Yeah, so I gotta give. She won't be on here, I know, but I'm gonna give credit to our friend Donna,
Donna.
and I need to tell her that she kind of gave me the idea. We were talking about tarps at the time. This was before monsoon season, even.
Donna, we're talking about you.
If they watch this, I don't know if they'll watch this, but it was before monsoon season, and we had tarps, and I was just thinking about how I was going to kind of attach those tarps, right? And I knew the wind would be an issue, and one of the her suggestions was, at the time we were talking about kind of the top and the bottom, how to connect them, and she suggested at the bottom to kind of roll up a piece of wood and attach that wood to the basically the our sill plate, I guess. So it's the same idea. I've taken it now and kind of turned it sideways, but yeah, I've rolled the plastic around a piece of wood and stuck that piece of wood on, because there's a couple problems with, you can't just stretch it across. I mean, you could. You don't want to just stretch it across and just like staple it to something, because first of all, those staples won't hold very well. Um, Two, that'll put the plastic right up against the bale. So the wrapping it around the
Condensation.
wood, yeah, the wrapping it around the wood gives you a couple things. It separates it from the bales, so hopefully condensation doesn't get to the bales as much and doesn't get them as wet. And the wrapping it around at the ends should allow it to keep from kind of wanting to just rip away, right? Since it's wrapped. So I'm hopeful. We just put them up, so I don't know for sure yet how they're going to perform, but they look decent. They look like they're pretty solidly on there. So
Yeah, so Steve and Donna are our neighbors from when we used to live in Chandler. They lived down the street from us, and they used to keep Dallas, the baby, for us.
mhm.
And Steve used to be in construction,
Steve's done
and
a little
both
bit of everything. It
and
seems like, yeah.
Donna, I think Donna helped him out too with a lot
They've
of
remodeled
building and
homes.
stuff.
They
So
recently remodeled
they
a
know a
home.
lot,
Yeah. So
and they came here on Sunday, and also she brought food,
oh
and
yeah, we had visitors.
it was
I forgot to
good.
mention that.
She brought some
It was some
sort
kind
of
of
a soup,
cheesy
corn
soup.
chowder.
Yeah.
It was really good. And also Glendon, this guy that Brian used to work with
Yep.
at Lockheed
Someone I
Martin.
hadn't seen in 10 years, easy.
So you might have seen a picture on Instagram I posted that.
Yeah, we had two visitors on the same day, two visitors on Sunday.
Mhm.
But one, so Glennon just wanted to see what we were up to. He's watched the videos and stuff, but he wanted to kind of see it in person. So that was
Champ.
nice. And um,
Who? Oh, Glendon hadn't
Glendon
seen it in
and Steve and
person.
Donna, they've been down a few times, and I talk to Steve all the time about stuff that I'm doing and with questions and everything. And he gives me a lot of good ideas. But
They
he wanted
hadn't
to see
been
it in
down in a
person, and
while.
I wanted to talk to him about kind of what's coming up. So he gave me some good ideas. We talked about some things going forward. So he's always a great sounding board to kind of bounce ideas off of, and he gives me a lot of good ideas. So he's just done a ton of different things. He has built houses, he's built barns, he's remodeled houses. So he's done stuff that's sort of, let's say,
Uh-oh.
normal stuff, and he's
Heather,
also done kind of non-normal stuff. So
the pump house we built was entirely built out of warped wood. Not
mm,
fun.
yeah, yeah. Warped wood is,
Did we
yeah.
miss anything?
I don't think so. So it looks like Dawn and Warren were talking a little bit about getting some materials. Uh, oh, she's got internet lag. Heather and Ben have internet lag.
We drive through Bibbs almost every weekend, Bibs? Does he mean Bisbee?
Bisbee? Maybe.
Oh, because they go to
To Sierra
Sierra
Vista. Oh, they
Vista.
would drive through. Yeah. Don
Twisted
said a Twisted
Sister.
Sister piece of lumber would work great for your birdhouse. Yeah. If you need me to come by and help you locate optimal place for it, let me know. Okay, no problem. Because of what you said, we're not in like a super hurry to get it up. I think you said
March.
the birds would be coming
March
in the
will
March timeframe, although that's not that far off
right.
anymore. But yeah, we've got a little time still. Um,
So doors and windows, is that gonna come after the metal?
uh, yeah, well, okay, so yeah, so we got the metal yesterday. Yeah, so I had ordered the metal Wednesday last week, right before our live last week, I think. So I probably talked about it last time, but it got delivered yesterday, and let's see. But the other things that are going on are I made a bunch of phone calls about Windows. So I probably mentioned Windows a little bit last time, but I've got kind of three options for Windows, and I mean anybody sort of has these three options. Yeah, um, Lowe's and Home Depot, off the shelf, um, uh, and then there's Window Depot is a good one, or any other kind of you can go to one of the Habitat for Humanities or one of the or places like that too to try and just kind of find either stuff that's been taken out of older stuff or Window Depot still has a lot of new and some used stuff,
Red and
but a
April.
lot cheaper.
Hello. Hi.
Um, or I went. One reason I did go find a kind of a window company, a window distributor, let's say, is because I wanted some special windows, at least a couple of special windows on our south side for solar gain purposes. I wanted to have some special glass, so I've talked to a kind of a window distributor as well, and I did just ask him to kind of quote the whole thing at the same time, just because. But I was really going to him for those two special windows. Um,
The birds
but
like
anyway,
our
what I've done
barn
is
rafter.
I've gone back to Lowe's and Home Depot and looked at prices again. I'll probably end up getting the two doors that I want there, just because they're easy to find and they're kind of generic-ish, right? So a front door, a kind of a standard front door, and a French door, a set of French doors. And they're reasonably priced there, and they have what we want. And I kind of sized them based on those two. So we'll probably end up getting our doors from a Lowe's or a Home Depot. Um,
Dawn asked the question.
what did Don ask?
We stored the metal roofing just
Oh,
outside on the ground
right now it's sitting
on
outside. They
pallets,
did
right?
they did tell me when they dropped it off, and this is I don't remember them
It's
telling me
not
this
on
before. This
pallets?
is it is on pallets.
Okay.
I put the pallets out there.
Okay.
Um, um, so I don't remember them telling this before, and this is the third time I've ordered from this place. Um, they kind of made a big deal. They said if it's going to be there for long, they actually when they drop it off, they wrap it. They wrap it in plastic, and they even use they bind it.
Oh yeah.
And they made a big deal about if
Oh
it's going to
wow,
sit there for
spring.
long. They said you don't
Okay.
want rain, even though it is a roof that's obviously going to get rained on. But they said when the panels are stacked, you don't want a lot of rain to get kind of in there. They said it'll actually cause problems
Mildew
if
or
it's
something.
if it's trapped between them.
Oh.
Um,
What up,
so
Craig?
they talked about that. But I'm like I said, I'm gonna try. We're gonna attempt to put it on the roof tomorrow. So I don't know if I'll get a chance to attach it all, but we're gonna try and get it up on the roof tomorrow. Our friends William and Rita are hopefully gonna help us out with that tomorrow.
What
So
does that say?
generish or genericish or generic-ish, I
Genericish.
guess. Yeah, so Window Depot didn't have any of kind of the special ones I was looking for. Um, hey, Craig. Oh, Craig's in Bisbee. Oh, yeah, right. I knew that. Craig's working on his land.
He's putting up
Um,
fence, right?
so anyway, yeah. So I've gone back to Lowe's and Home Depot and priced stuff. I've gone on Window Depot's website and priced the things we need. Prices have gone up a little bit, not outrageous, but they've gone up. Not surprising. Um, and the company that I had gotten a quote from before monsoon season for windows that I had gone to for those two special windows, but I asked him to quote everything. I've asked them for a requote, and he did say that there have been price increases. So I wasn't surprised, but I haven't gotten that quote yet. So we're kind of tracking down windows again. I'm coming up to speed a lot faster this time because I had already kind of done this research. Now it's just a matter of kind of revisiting and finding out what new pricing is. So I don't think windows are too far off for us. Um, I don't know how
That'll
long
be cool.
delivery might take, especially if I go with that if I did go with that company, that distributor, they might not be real quick. I know Window Depot has a lot of what we want right in stock. Um, and but the doors are I know they're in stock at Lowe's and Home Depot. I've seen them both. Um, so yeah, we're looking at windows and doors again. Um, being a bird guy. Oh, so Don is asking about birds.
Hi,
um,
David.
hey, David.
Ooh,
11
Korea.
Celsius freezing.
Burr.
Awesome. You're roofing so soon. Any more ladder climbs to the top for Pam? I think none.
No.
Several for me. I had to get on and
Waza.
off. I had to get on and off several times.
Jim.
I got a little better at it. Hey, Jim
Hey, Jim.
and
What's
Jessica.
up? And Jessica. Have you
Um,
tried putting the bales into the bucks yet? No.
no, I have not. Um, no. No, I have
What
not.
is your overall projected budget for the house build?
You know, I haven't really revisited this since, we
Prices went
came out
sky
here.
high.
No, well, yes, but I basically just kind of put a ballpark figure on it when we came out here, and I tried to be, kind of, and I'll admit, I based it largely on a lot of stuff Derek had done. This was when we were watching Tiny House build.
Yeah.
Um, but
Hi,
knowing that we
Ben.
were going to do a lot of
Ben
things
Johnson.
natural and stuff,
Hi, Ben
um,
Johnson.
I think I budgeted I left us like 50 grand in our budget. But I think it's easily gonna now I'm keeping track of all the costs, but I haven't really been adding them up regularly. But I do kind of every time I buy something, I kind of call it out so that I can add it up in the future. I haven't done it yet recently, but I mean I know ballpark a lot of what a lot of things have cost, but I'm hoping that we can do it for like 30 grand or less. Just FYI, and that's just a super ballpark figure, and I don't know if I'll hit it or not, but I
Hopefully.
feel like we'll be in that ballpark. Hopefully less.
Ben
Um,
likes the new lighting. Yes,
so
we got a new light.
I think somebody else
I
actually
hear
asked a
noises.
question. I want to make sure. Oh, so Don said, Brian, would you have to travel to Window Depot, and is it in Tucson? Um, they have multiple locations in Tucson. I think three, and then have at least one in Phoenix. But they do deliver as well, so I wouldn't necessarily have to travel to them. They're from what I can tell, their website's actually pretty decent. I was able to find pretty much everything I needed on their website. I did then call them and talk to them, and I like to kind of touch base in person when doing stuff like that. So I don't think I'd buy it right off the website without ever kind of going in there. I mean, we've been there once, but I would still go in and talk to the person I was buying it from and say, and see everything in person. So, but I wouldn't necessarily have to, and they will deliver. Um, so,
I can't wait to get the countertop from there. They
oh
have nice
gosh, yeah. So
countertops
they
and
call them. It's named Window Depot, but yeah, they've got a lot of stuff.
they
They've
have
got cabinets. They've got,
cabinets.
and much like I forget the names of some of the others, but some of the others that we went to were more of like a reclaimed type of place where you could tell it had come out of maybe a demolition or something. And
Mm.
some of them pretty clearly showed it. As a matter of fact, most of them pretty clearly showed it. I wasn't very impressed with some of those places. Now, that
Yeah,
doesn't
we
mean you
saw.
can't get that stuff, but I'm not a big fan of rehabbing a bunch of old stuff. I like the way it looks when some people do it successfully, but I'm not that big of a fan of doing it myself. So I mean, we might do that from time to time, but luckily we have a lot of furniture and everything, so I don't know that we'll have to do it that much. But Window Depot does carry an excellent selection of like countertops, like
Mhm.
granite and all that stuff, and a lot of good cabinets and stuff like that too. I think we're
Oh,
going to try and
yeah,
make a lot of our cabinets
definitely.
too, but
Just by doing it ourselves, we're gonna save a ton. Hi, Tom.
so
New
uh
Jersey's 30 and clear
Oh, hey, Tom. Heather said, "That's not too bad. Will permit required here? No way
with
you could do it
permit.
for that in one."
With permit.
Oh. Yeah, I'm sure you're right. I'm sure you're right. That's one of the
Oh,
beauties of being able to do some
oh,
of the stuff
Tim says
that we're able to do here. Like for
Tim's
example,
working
I
out.
put I put almost nothing into my foundation, so and that's pretty much unheard of. So that
Right.
was nice.
Let's just hope it
Um,
is okay.
yeah, let's hope so.
Let's hope so.
So, it's hard to put a number on it right now of what the house is gonna cost, but I can guarantee you that you will be seeing it, when we get to that point. I'll add it all up for everybody and I'll break it down. And I am keeping track. I just haven't been paying super close attention. And things have actually been, very close to what I had expected. Obviously, things have gone up. Um, but I had a really, really rough ballpark number, so it's not like I've been surprised or anything like that. And I think we're still well within reach of being well under that ballpark number. So
Whatever it turns out, you say, oh, I, so, Jim says it's going to be cold tonight, but it has been cold the
uh,
last couple of nights,
I
like
don't.
30 degrees this morning.
Now
It
Jim's
was,
weather's a little different than ours. I don't think ours is supposed to be much
ours
colder
says
than. I
31
think we're right around freezing,
tonight.
which is we've been doing that for a little while. We did warm up a little bit because it was when it was overcast, especially. We stayed a little warmer than that. When it clears up, we tend to get colder. I think in a night or two, we're supposed to be
We
down well under. We're supposed to be 28 or something, which
we
we're
are
usually.
prepared.
Yeah, we're prepared.
We haven't been, our water hasn't been
29 degrees.
freezing, which is nice.
Yeah. So, and I don't know about you guys, Jim, but
27.
yeah, if
Whoa.
we look at our, what do you call it, the forecast, we're almost always, a good 5 degrees less than they say when we look on our thermometer in the morning. So, if it says it's going to be 30, we'll be in the 20s for sure.
April and Red said it was like 13
Oh,
one time there.
I'll bet they're low.
Yeah, they're up in the mountains.
I think we're ready. We've been doing pretty well. I think we've talked about it before. Our water's doing really well. The coming into the onboard tank. We have not had a freeze of our water yet, and I think we've hit 20.
Yeah.
We've seen on the thermometer, so much better than in past years for us. So we're very happy with that. I did wrap a while back. My
19 there.
Oof, I did wrap some of the connections between our two water tanks out here and on the ends of our water tanks out here. So
he's gonna be cold tonight.
Oh yeah, Craig, you're gonna be chilly tonight.
Maybe you can find some animal out there. A javelina to
crawl inside.
Crawl
inside its
38.
body.
Oh, 38
Whoa.
During the day. Oh, so we were like 60 something here.
We're pushing.
It was nice.
We're supposed to be 71, 72 tomorrow.
Yeah, it was nice out today.
Yeah,
it was in the afternoon.
It
in
was
the morning,
high 60s.
It's uncomfortable in the morning. I thought you rapped on the mic. What was I doing that you didn't like?
You're playing with you're like picking at your finger or something. I can feel it.
Oh. Javelinas don't smell.
Well, Craig doesn't smell the best.
Poor Craig. We always make fun of him.
Anyway, so
He likes
yeah,
it.
so have we touched on the things we're doing? So yeah, lots of plastic work the past week. We finished all kind of the outer big sections. I do need to do a little bit kind of on the openings. I still need to cover some of the exposed areas because when rain does start to blow in, it can definitely get to the bales. So I have a little bit more yet to do, but it won't be to the level of what I had to do on the outside. So a lot of plastic work. We're very close to done.
Ooh.
-2 Buffalo Bills.
What is that? Mr. Subtle?
RN?
Oh,
RN Subtle?
sorry, I can't see. Forgive me.
Oh, wow.
I wish I could send you some sun, Heather.
Warren asked if we're monetized yet. We sure are, Warren. How about you?
We're monetized. I'm not monetized.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. Maybe he was asking about Pam. Pam is not there yet. She's close to 900.
I have.
She's pushing 900. She's getting close.
Starting to get to me. This keyboard is.
Anyway, bunch of plastic work.
I can figure it out.
I think I talked about this last time, and I showed a picture. I moved the bales. We got our carport back, which has been nice. We're parking under the carport again, so that's nice.
Yes.
Although sometimes you want the sun to hit them when it's chilly, but parking under the carport is nice. We're back there.
But it is the other morning. Our heater doesn't have a car. Our car doesn't have a heater, and I went to the store, or I went to Tucson.
Yeah.
With Taylor and Melissa, and it was really cold.
The car is chilly.
To go meet them, and then we went in their car, so it was nice to have a heater in the car.
But the remaining bales are inside the house, and one of the next things we're doing, probably while waiting for windows, and when I get this metal on the roof, done. Will definitely be bales into the sections under the windows. So it'll be a lot of bale splitting, because I have to kind of piece it between the windows. It's going to be a little bit of a hassle, but I still think it's probably the best way to try and fill those spaces.
We have to
So
get
that's
a
what we're
lot
going to
of
go with.
dirt put
We
in around because there's a big drop off where the tires
I
are.
want to get some dirt piled around the foundation again, because I mean those tires, although I think it's a really good solution, um, if you don't kind of put more dirt kind of behind and on top of those tires to kind of back them up, I say, if you leave them kind of at the edge of that, they can sort of erode. You know, dirt can start to come in, especially if there's a lot of water.
It's
Um,
starting to
they
erode
can
a
sort of
little
give a
bit.
little, they can start to give a little bit. So you really want to kind of back them up with more dirt and put some dirt over top of them. So I want to get our buddy CJ over here, hopefully soon, and just pile a bunch of dirt around the foundation, and kind of we'll kind of move it around into place, and we'll tamp it a bunch and everything. I think that'll settle things a lot more solid. Although everything's good right now, I just worry if we leave it that way for too long, it could start to sort of want to move a little bit.
Yeah.
So we
And
do need to do that as
we're
well.
also gonna need some piles of dirt and sand. Oh, thank
Hey
you.
there, Warren. Thanks for the super chat.
Aw, that's very sweet.
We enjoyed watching some of your videos, Warren. You hadn't been on there in a while. It was nice to see you working on the
Oh,
place.
yeah, that was,
Um, I
it
I
looks great.
It was interesting to see the zip system and everything, because that was a little different. That I might have heard you mention that before, but I don't know that I had seen it before. So it's a different way of sheathing. Looks like you did walls uh, and roof that way. So that was
Arizona
interesting to see.
Homestead Project is Warren, and he is building a, uh,
Container.
container
Yeah, basically he
type
has two
deal.
containers, and he's kind of left a space in between them, and he put a roof over the whole thing. So it's pretty neat. It's a unique build. Not that we're all kind of doing sort of unique builds, but that's a good one. I like that.
And we're all building at the same time, like,
Yeah,
actually, we've all been at it for
he
a
got
while.
his trusses right about when we did. It was
Yeah.
really close. David says, Brian, how many more bales will you need to fill in the bucks and finish the bale work? Is it more or less than your calculations? It's, you know, I don't
Less.
have a we have, right as of right now, we have like 24 full bales left over. So that's a good bit. But it's hard to predict, and I haven't really tried to kind of work the math of the hard part is from now on, like I said, they're going to be little pieces that I'm going to have to kind of piece between spaces and things. So I haven't really tried to figure out every little piece and how many bales it's actually going to take. I think I'm going to be really close on what I bought, so I'm pretty happy with that. Even if I came up a tiny bit short, which I don't know if I will, but even if I did, it's not hard to grab a couple of bales at our feed store. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. But we're probably going to have enough. I think we were probably really close on our
The
estimate.
moose sun? What is the moose sun?
The moose sign. What's that mean, Don? What
What's
moose
that
sign?
mean?
What did I miss? Oh, you know what it is? It's Warren's. Look at Warren's Warren's
Oh, I
picture.
can't see.
I missed that.
Uh, I see a little circle with a yellow thing, but I can't tell what it is.
No problem, Warren. Yeah, like I said, we hadn't seen you. I mean, you were out on the road and stuff, so you had your reasons, but you hadn't. We hadn't
He
got to
was
see any
saving
work
up
from you in a
money.
while, but it was neat to see. And yeah, you obviously had a very different truss setup than we did. I've told people several times, you know, when you say the word truss, people picture something right away, right? And I think they picture a big gabled, awkward, right? Super awkward, heavy, floppy truss, right? Ours were not quite that. Ours were sort of glorified rafters, is what I would call them. They're long and pretty, you know, flat. They're just two parallel cords, a top and a
Simple.
bottom. So,
We
I
went
mean,
the
yes, they're
simple route.
trusses, but they're about as simple as you can be. So, I had a lot of people kind of starting to give me advice on trusses and things and how to put them in and everything. And I think they probably had in their mind a picture of a big, giant, awkward, weird truss, which ours were way easier than that. But it looked like yours were probably pretty tough.
Do you mind telling me what the cost of the bales were when you made the
The
big
big
bale
bale order,
order?
just curious, what was the price?
What was the price?
So yeah, when we ordered, and I don't know what's changed since because I haven't looked again, but we got our bales. It's been almost a year. I think it was last March.
Yeah.
They were at the time, and this was just from our local feed store, they were, I believe, 11 bucks a piece at
Yeah.
the time.
Yep.
And that's if you go in and buy one, right? And I think in our history here, they've been anywhere from 10 to 11 bucks, Jerry. That's a pretty standard number. Um, but we bought like 120, and he gave them to us for 9 bucks a piece. So we paid I think around 1,100 bucks for all of our bales, which is I say that our walls cost 1,100 bucks, but there was some wood in there too, so that's not quite accurate. But yeah, all our bales were about $1,100 for 120 of them. So we were pretty happy with that. I enjoyed working those trusses with you folks, Brian and Pam. Not horrific at all to work with. Yeah, our trusses were not bad. We're really not bad. I don't know exactly. I mean, we watched Warren's video. Um, I don't I don't remember seeing them, and I don't know if he has footage maybe still sitting around, but I don't remember seeing the in action, moving the trusses around because I know those kinds of trusses can be really awkward. Um, but I'm sure his was much tougher to work with than ours. But he says they weren't too hard. Oh, how about that? All right.
Yeah, I can't believe it's already, how far we've come.
Oh, well, the beauty of, you
It's getting
know,
there.
well, I mean, I can't speak for every other kind of build, but one of the reasons we chose straw bale for several reasons, but one of the reasons we chose it is because it can go quickly. And I know it has taken us a long time to get here, and it even took me I would say a long time to stack the walls. But in the grand scheme of things, from the time we made a decision on the uh, the foundation, which I thought about for a long, long time, and I'm glad I did because we came up with something good, I think. But from the time we made a decision on the foundation and really started to work it, and other than the monsoon getting in the way, which that happened after the foundation, but um, once we started working on those bales, I mean, if you look back, I mean, it's only been a couple of months, and we've done
Mhm.
almost all of it pretty much alone. We've had help in one or two spots, which I appreciate, but it's amazing how quickly that stuff has gone up. So that's one of the benefits of bales, in my opinion, is that it really went pretty quick. And actually, all the bale work, I believe I did all the bale work by myself. That's just one person. So yeah, it took me a little while, but in the grand scheme of things, it happened pretty fast. So the house has changed really quickly, which is
I
really nice.
saw our off-grid adventure put a jar with a little bit of sand in their tank attached to a string hanging down outside.
Really? Oh, that's got to be that'll probably give you an idea of how much is in it. I'm assuming as just a measurement.
I don't know what that
Yeah,
means.
yeah. Then they revert.
We use
Then reverse the number label so they can always see their current water level. That is a good idea. A homemade water level gauge.
oh,
That's cool.
reverse the number.
Oh,
That
I did.
is cool. Oh, I
Oh, he
have to
says
check
forks
that
on the
out.
tractor. I know I saw him, I saw Warren got his sheathing on the roof with the tractor
And
as well.
Jim
So
pulled
tractor's a
them
nice
up.
thing to have. Um, we are working on our trusses now, red in April. They are unique, but we think they will work well. You guys are doing a lot of unique stuff, which is cool. That'll be fun to see. We thought about for a very short time. We thought about trying to make our own trusses, but
Not for long.
didn't do it. Probably could
Just
have. There's a lot of things you can do yourself if you're willing to try it, but
that'll be
we didn't.
cool.
But
Do you
Brian, do
miss
you miss
men?
pounding tires at all? Seems like the ultimate CrossFit workout.
Oh,
I don't mind it too much for a while, and I'll probably do some more. But yeah,
well,
after a while,
like
it gets pretty
everything else,
monotonous.
it's like usually if you're doing a task, you only have to do that
Yeah,
task one
force.
time,
Yeah,
and it
yeah,
might be time consuming,
yeah.
but you take baby steps and eventually you get it done.
I do feel like I did it in kind of the hottest part of the year, if I recall. So that maybe wasn't the
Oh, it's
smartest.
Terry Michelle.
Hey
Hi.
guys, get them gains. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I mean, I've been working pretty steady now, but I haven't been doing. I don't know. It's weird to say. I don't feel like it's been quite that physical.
Well,
I
with
feel like
the
the stuff I've been doing, I've had to
lately
think
you've
about a lot, but it hasn't been. I wouldn't call it super physical. I guess it is a little bit, but
I think when you did the
it's not
tires, it
pounding
was
tires
really
though.
hot and
But
you
I
were
mean,
out there
I
in the
literally it did
he
feel
would
like I was working out every day
he
pretty
would
much.
wait
So
till the hottest part of the day
I'm
to
not a
do
morning
it.
person, unfortunately. So oh well.
That's okay.
What
Did you say
else?
hi
What
to
else is
Terry and
going on?
Michelle?
I did. Hey guys.
Hey, guys.
What else is going on? Did I miss anything?
I don't know. Oh, we still need to get our pipe hooked up on our tank, our water harvesting tank.
Yeah,
That made me think of it when Dawn said that.
but actually, I mean, we've made do pretty well, and I don't want to. I don't want to kind of get completely off the well before the
Right,
build is finished because we're probably going to need
right.
a good bit of water to do our plaster. So I probably won't really try and get off the well until the build is done. So because of that, I mean, and we've been making this connection work pretty well for a while. Um, I might. I don't know if it's worth trying to hook the
The pipe.
tanks up to the RV or whether I should just go straight to the house.
Oh,
So we might not even make that connection to the RV. I'm not sure.
um,
Um, uh,
Craig says he's got
oh,
about 1,000
yeah. If you want to know
tires.
about
So,
tires,
oh,
Craig's got a lot of tire work to do in his
I
future.
wanted to ask Craig. We were watching your videos today, and we were thinking you really should start a channel and get those videos
Oh
out
yeah,
there
Craig. We saw some of the
because we
videos you
can
did on your fencing, and they had more of a kind of
a
a
YouTube
YouTube
feel,
how-to feel to them. So yeah, I don't know if you did that on purpose, but we were thinking you should be putting some of that out
and
there.
then we can tell everybody to join
Um,
to go to your channel and
so David said,
subscribe.
putting the roof on will be the last of the real lifting of stuff. The rest is
Oh,
trade or
thank
finish work. It's going to
goodness.
go fast. Well,
I hope
I don't
so.
know about going fast, but but
I
it
don't know
should
if
be
he ever
hopefully a
goes
little
fast.
physically easier, I suppose, maybe. But I'm just glad after we get this metal behind us, I hope to not have to go up on the roof again. Because as some of you saw in this last video, you saw how freaked out Pam was going up there. I did not like going up and down on that roof. I hate it. So after this metal's done, I hope not to have to go up there again.
I wish I could have had some footage of you coming down that one time.
Oh,
That
we should have
was
got some footage.
I
It was really bad.
was laughing so hard, and I think he was getting mad at me, but I couldn't help
I
it.
was. Don said, Brian, do you have all the specific nails for your metal roof? And will you need to put anything between the paper material and the metal? So a couple things. So yes, I have all the nails. There are two kinds of nails that you use in general. I think this is pretty general for metal roofing. So we have metal to wood nails, which will go right into the sheathing, into the plywood. But we also have, so those are, I think they're like an inch and a quarter, inch and a half long. Um, and then we have shorter 3/4 inch. So we have like 4 bags of those, and they're colored to match the roof and everything. So they are specific. Um, and then we have a bag of shorter screw. If I said nails there, I didn't mean to. Screws called stitch screws, which are intended to just be metal to metal. So those are basically when you go, either when you're doing trim work, that's just the metal to metal, you're not actually going into the wood, or if you're attaching from panel to panel where they overlap, and you can screw into the rib that's up in the air, so it's up off the metal. So there's a special screw for that. So there's basically two kinds of screws you use for these metal roofs. So we do have those. And do I need to put anything between the paper and the paper material and the metal? The answer is no. There is one thing that you have to do. This is actually kind of metal to metal for the trim. I should say at the top and at the bottom of the roof. There's a trim piece that goes at the top, and there's something called a closure. That's basically just a
Entrapment.
piece of foam that's made to fit the ribs of the metal that you kind of stuff in there to keep critters and things out. And they actually do the same thing, but
Whoa.
it's made a little differently to fit at the bottom end of the metal.
You lost me.
Lots of taking nail stuff
Uh,
needed for the roof.
they're talking about
Um,
Oren was
thinking of the
saying
name with Sean Connery. What?
Catherine Zeta-Jones crawling in and out of the trusses.
Oh, I forget the name of that movie.
Entrapment.
Oh, it was Entrapment?
Heather got it.
Oh, that's it.
Will you be using a scaffold for doing the exterior plastering?
I mean, it's possible. I don't know for sure. Maybe.
You know,
I don't know yet.
we used the truck.
We've been getting by with ladders.
We're getting
We
in the
have made
truck.
use of the truck a few times. Our walls our walls are only 8 feet high. The problem isn't necessarily the height of the walls and things. It's more of what's going on at the base of our building right now. It kind of tends to slope off in weird directions, so that makes it hard to use a ladder or scaffolding or anything. So I'm not really sure yet. It might depend on what we do inside and outside around the base of those walls. If it gets a lot flatter and there's a nice wide space there, maybe we will be more likely to use a scaffold. And if not, then we might not be able to. We might have to come up with more interesting solutions for that. I don't
Craig
know.
said, "I've known Brian for over 20 years and I've never seen him as scared."
I
I don't think
was
I've ever seen him as scared.
it's bad. I hate heights.
So
I hate
here's
heights.
what's funny. He used to do flips in
Yeah.
the way
Yeah.
on the water in we used to do boating and wakeboarding, and I was afraid he was going to break his neck. And this time I was like, why is he was on his stomach like this, like here's the roof, and his legs were like hanging off and they were straight out and he has long legs. And I was like, if you would just come back a little bit further, you would fold in
I
half.
wish you had
And
videotaped that. The funny thing is,
he
my
wouldn't
brain knows that some of my
brain.
fears are irrational, and that in most cases, it's sort of impossible for something to go wrong if your weight's distributed a certain way or whatever. But no matter how much my brain knows, it doesn't matter. My body just freaks out, and I can't stop it.
His nickname is Brain, by the way.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Mail,
Um,
we've gotten mail for Brain Price.
So
Let's see.
Don says, "Do you guys have your recipes figured out for the inside and outside plastering?" Not
Sort of.
exactly. Pam has played with it a little bit. So Pam has done some, on a test bale a long time ago, and she's played around with kind of doing some I would say
I
like
made the
sort of cob
pizza
type builds
oven.
with cans in them and
Yeah.
things. So Pam's played around with it a little bit. I'm sure we've still got a little bit more to learn, but we'll still do some testing, and we're also going to do some testing with the way we're going to apply. We've been talking about that a little bit recently. We're thinking we're going to try and find a kind of a hopper type solution where you use kind of a big hopper with a gun that's going to kind of spray the material using a compressor. So
Mhm.
we think we're going to end up with that kind of a solution, but obviously that'll take a little playing around with. So yes and no. We've played with the mud around here a little bit, but I'm sure we'll still need to make some tweaks.
Make
Um,
sure you
Alan
use a
said, make sure you use a
driver.
driver with an adjustable clutch and not an impact driver. It helps from over tightening. Good
Mm.
point. A lot, if not all, it might depend on the driver nowadays, but they do kind of they have multiple kind of speed slash power settings on them. I think how quickly they'll sort of kind of instead of going too far. So I have already done. This is my third metal roof from the same company, so we've got it down fairly well now.
Um,
Um,
Dawn's been in a bald eagle's nest apparently,
I
and
know
then
it might sound weird, but I actually enjoy heights.
oh wow.
Best one for me is being in a bald eagle nest when I was doing
If I'm
biology
in
work.
a
I think it was up 80 feet.
if I'm in a building, I like heights.
What's the other thing that's weird? I've done skydiving, and yeah,
Wow.
I mean, there was a short period during that where I was a little nervous about it, but not the same as a height feeling.
Craig
It's
says
just a different feeling.
I've seen him almost die in ocean swells,
Yeah, I have.
and he wasn't that scared.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
it's bad. I heights
Oh,
are
he
just my
you were on
nemesis.
a
I'm
what was
really
that?
bad.
You were in Florida on a boat and
Called it a fast boat. It really was literally a drug runner's boat, and we were using it as a test, and it was basically just a big
that was for
long
work.
think like
He went
think like cigarette boat that's just like a big long canoe with like a steering wheel and a piece of wood behind the steering wheel that's a seat.
and Craig
And
was up in
we
a
were in
airplane or something,
we were
wasn't
in
he?
big waves. And I didn't get really scared until the driver got scared. And that's when I got a little scared when he said, "This is too big for me." Then I got worried.
And
Uh,
didn't you say your arms felt like they were gonna give out because you were holding
well,
on
so
and
yeah, we were in the ocean and the waves were getting big. So basically, what we were doing again in this long, skinny boat, right, was just kind of riding up a wave, and he would kind of power up the wave, and then you'd fall and crash,
oh,
and you'd go up and you'd crash, and it just over and over. And like I
ow.
said, this thing didn't really have seats, so there was literally like a 2x4 on two posts behind the driver's seat, behind the steering wheel. That was the seat, and there were three of us on it, and I was at the edge of it, literally right at the edge of the boat. So I'm on this 2x4, basically, right, leaning against this 2x4, and my arm is on the side of the boat
So I would have
as we're
died
going as we're going
if I
down
had
up
been
and
there.
oh,
I
you'd
would
have
have
been overboard in a second.
I would have
It
died.
was rough. It was pretty rough.
And Heather says, I always feel like I will involuntarily
I do
jump
too.
off.
I do too.
Like I'm
So
just jump.
I was sitting at the edge, and or no, I wasn't sitting. You were telling me to sit at the edge when I was trying to come down the ladder. She said, "There's no way you can fall if your butt is on the roof. You can't fall off. Just the weight distribution doesn't really work." And I was thinking that same thing. I was all, well, if I just lean forward like this, I'll fall off. But of course, well, you wouldn't do that. But
his legs were almost touching the ground. It didn't make any
it's
sense.
it is not rational.
Oh yeah,
But
I've always heard about
I
this
can't help it.
good times you guys had in Key West, and I didn't get to go.
Well, it was work.
Yeah, that's right.
It was great though.
I heard about the karaoke.
Oh,
I
well, we
missed out
managed
on
to sneak
that.
a little fun in there. We didn't sleep a lot, but
You didn't?
no.
Hmm.
Anyway, what were we talking
Was the
about?
water really pretty and blue?
Some of it was. We didn't, to tell you the truth, it's not like we went to the beach or anything.
Oh,
And if I recall, the weather wasn't actually that great. I forget what time of year it was, but we didn't really spend time on the
what?
beach.
That's when he where it was at Lockheed Martin.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I just remember that didn't they make you stay longer? And I was like really,
I
really
think Craig ended up
angry.
staying longer, and Nikki was really upset,
Well, there was one
if I
time where they
recall.
made you stay another night, and I was like
Maybe.
very upset.
Pam did not like me traveling for work. I didn't mind it.
No, of course you didn't. I wasn't the same person back then. I was scared to stay by myself.
Anyway, yeah, those were fun times.
But my kids were there. I wasn't by myself.
Oh
I
yeah,
had the
that was in
dog,
the
I had the
house. Yeah, yeah,
kids, but
yeah.
I was still, without the man of the house there, I was scared. Silly. Are we
So,
almost
oh, we're getting pretty close. Does anybody have any
ready to
questions
wrap it
about
up?
anything? Like I said, a quick recap. Yeah. So finishing
For
up the
it's getting
plastic, a little more
chilly.
to do. The next immediate task is the roof, the metal roof. So I'll be spending some time on that.
Ha
Um,
ha ha.
um, I
Hey
haul a
ho.
lot for Lockheed Martin.
Oh,
Oh,
airplanes.
um, so metal coming up. Hopefully, right after that, a little more bale work. I'm not looking forward to more bale work, and it's going to be
Mm,
dirty bale work. It's going to be a pain.
dirty
I'm gonna,
bales.
I won't be able to use full bales for anything, so it's not going to be a lot of fun. But
Dirty
it'll
bales.
make the place start to look a lot more. It'll make a big
Yeah,
difference in look because it
yeah,
looks a little funny now. I love the walls, but it's odd to see it just break and there's just a big opening for windows. So
yeah.
when we put stuff under the windows, I think it'll look even more like a
Do
house
you have to
than it
put goop
does.
under the roof nails to make sure that no
Do you
wet
have to put some
goes
goop under the roof nails to make sure that no wet goes down there? No. Short answer, no. I mean, I suppose if you were really worried about it, you could, but
underlayment,
the
right?
nail, I'm sorry, not nails, but the screws that you use for the metal, they have washers kind of on them to start, and you screw them down, and the washer, it's a rubber washer, and that's why I think it was Alan mentioned not over tightening. You have to put that screw in so that the washer kind of gets just squeezed the tiniest
Yes.
bit up against the and creates kind of a seal there. But you don't want to really drive that screw in because it'll kind of smash the washer. It's just rubber; it'll kind of break apart. And then,
RV
but yeah,
Badlands.
all the screws have rubber washers on them, and that's supposed to make a watertight connection. So if you install it right, you should not have to use any goop. And as I said, this is our third one.
Mm.
The The carport one's a little unique because there's nothing under it as far as like there's not plywood under it. It's just on purlins. But it doesn't, I don't believe it leaks. It'd be hard to tell actually because of what's underneath it, but I don't think it leaks. And I know the shed one, which is on a plywood sheathed roof, the shed doesn't leak at all.
So one
So,
day when it was all icy on top of the carport, it was like
oh,
it had
yeah, so
condensation.
the carport does get a little wet underneath from condensation. So yeah, just the temperature change. So water does kind of build up on the bottom of the carport,
That's the
and it
only
will
time
drip
that ever
down a little bit,
happened.
but it's just condensation. It's not leak. Um, so
Metal screws have washers as screws come in the same.
finally made it. RV Badlands 2015. Welcome. All metal screws have washers, and the screws come the same color as the metal. Yes. Yeah. So I think we mentioned this. We switched colors on this roof. One because they
Switched?
didn't have.
Oh,
Well, it's different
it's
than
like
the
a
others. They didn't have the green anymore, which we did our other two roofs in green.
maroon.
This
It's
one's
kinda like a maroon
they call it rustic
barn.
red.
It's like barn
I'm not
red.
even sure if it's a barn red. It's a little
Burgundy.
duller than a barn red, um, the one bummer of that is I have a bunch of screws left over from our previous uh, roofs, but they're green, so that would be
Judy
unfortunate. But
and Carrie,
uh,
RV
is that
Badlands.
RV Balance? Awesome.
Judy and
I'm
Carrie.
itching to do a big honking carport. Well,
I'm
if you want to talk big honking carport, let me know because ours is pretty big.
spray
um,
paint?
looking forward to meeting y'all when we get to Cochise County. Well, give us a ring.
Yeah.
Spray paint
Let us
question. Oh,
know.
for the screws, I suppose. I suppose we could change them if we wanted to.
Oh,
They are good. The guy mentioned. I mentioned that to the delivery guy too. I said it's a bummer. I have a bunch of green screws, and they are good for just general purpose work. They're good screws, so I can use them for a lot of different projects, and I'm sure we'll find a use for them. But it's unfortunate that they don't match the color.
Apache County?
Um,
Where's
oh,
Apache? Is that
Apache County, I think might be up north. I think. Correct me if I'm
so
wrong. I think that's more northern Arizona. So is the roof going to be green and
it's gonna be barn
it is
red,
red? That would be
like a
cool.
maroon or a brick red, I guess you could
Our
say.
other two
It looks
roofs
cool.
are green, the shed and the carport.
Forest
And
green.
this roof will be rustic red, they call it.
Yeah, rustic red
Um, Ben
from
Johnson from
Boston.
Boston put all my stuff in a U-Haul box. Awesome.
Flying to Apache County. Cool.
Correction, screws red. Oh, I got you. No, the roof is red too, but I was just bummed that I had leftover screws from past ones that were green, so if I tried to use them, they wouldn't match. But I have we have red roofing for the house and red screws for the house, but I can't use
Yeah, I
my
believe
extra screws.
carport was included on the permit.
Yes, based on the size for us, yes, we had to permit the carport. And the permits for the shed and the carport got checked off a while back, so they're official
Mm.
as done and legal. But yeah, I mean, if you made a small one, I suppose potentially you wouldn't have to permit it. But yes, it has that same rule of if it's over 200 square feet, it's got to be, and even without walls and everything, it's still got to be. So yes, Northeast Arizona. That's what I thought. Uh,
Yeah, I think it will look cool.
We're pushing an hour here, just FYI.
Yeah,
So we're almost done, guys. So anything you want to
it's
know,
getting
get it in
chilly,
there.
so it's time for us
Rustic
to
red
get
will
into
look
bed.
nice. I think the red will look nice. Use the off-color screws in the
They
areas that will be
didn't.
covered by trim. That's a good idea, actually. That's a real good idea because some of them will be covered.
Oh, cool.
And technically, I mean, I shouldn't even need the green screws. I just was saying it was a bummer. If everything was green, then I would always have screws that would match.
They
But
they
um,
didn't have the green
yeah,
right
they were out of
now. They
green.
were out, so I didn't care. I wanted to have a red.
It's not that they don't carry the green metal anymore. They're
They're
just
out of
out of
it.
it, and they've been out of it for quite some time. So, I mean, maybe it'll come back, but I like our green, but the red's fine too. But yeah, it's not that they don't make it or anything or carry it. It's just that they're out of it, and they've been out of it for some time.
All
So,
right, so
but we've been
let's
very happy
wrap
with.
up.
I think I forget who it was. Somebody said it might have been Red in April. But somebody said, "Can you shout out the company or whatever?" Because we're gonna
Oh,
be
it's
doing one soon.
Thunder
But it
Mountain.
is Thunder Mountain Metal Sales. As I said, this is our third one, and so far,
They're in
hopefully this
Benson,
one goes
but
the same. But we've been very happy with what we've gotten. So
Tucson, Justin in Tucson.
yeah, they have an office in
He's
Tucson,
good.
office in Benson. Where did you get your metal roofing? There it is. Thunder Mountain Metal Sales.
Yeah.
They used to be in Sierra Vista, but they moved to Tucson, and then they also opened kind of a satellite little shop in Benson, which actually the stuff still comes from Tucson, but Benson is just like I think a lot of the workers actually lived in Benson,
I
so they
think Craig's
allowed.
behind.
We've got 17 thumbs up, Craig.
We have more thumbs up than viewers now.
Well,
Maybe
at the moment,
Craig's
because it's bouncing, but
maybe Craig is behind.
Craig might be a little delayed on
yeah,
his connection, potentially. He's out
he's
in
out
Bisbee.
in the boonies.
Anyway, I think that's about it, guys. We're pushing an hour. Thanks for stopping in.
Thank you.
We appreciate it as always. Thanks for watching. Hopefully, we did put out a video yesterday. Hopefully, everybody got a chance to see it. If you didn't, go watch it. It was about the sheathing.
Happy. I put out a video on the covering, the plastic covering.
Our next video on midlife prices will probably be on that plastic. So if you're curious about that plastic and how I did it or whatever, you want to see that one.
By the way, I did some research before I looked on YouTube. I tried to Google it. I couldn't really find anything on people who were covering, like detailed instructions on how people covered
bales once they were kind of in place, built, between putting them up and plastering them. So hopefully if that's something that people are having a hard time finding, then hopefully
help some people
this will help. Because I think so far, I think it's a pretty good solution.
Yeah.
So
all right. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. We're going to call it a night. Craig's and Burger King. All right, everybody. We'll talk to you next time. Pam will be moving in any day. Good night, everybody. That's it. See you next time.